And not only that, I had to go to prison the day after I got my appendix taken out.
I know that it's not because you were personally going to jail, but the wording of that is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. It's a factually correct statement that I got my appendix taken out on a Tuesday and went to prison on a Wednesday.
Damn, that's incredible. The chat's popping off for that. Oh.
Just for those who are curious, I think a class called the Inside Out Prison Exchange, where 7 Xavier students and 10 or so inmates at Lebanon Correctional Facility had a class together. And obviously they can't leave the prison, so we have to go to them.
They couldn't come to us, you know?
Yeah, they couldn't come to us. That wouldn't have worked out too well.
Folks, what is up, and welcome to another episode of Ace Attorney with an Actual Lawyer. I'm your host, Zach, joined by our voice actor, Wes.
Hello.
And our actual lawyer, Pridge.
Hello.
Folks, if you like this, you can catch it live on twitch.tv/SavedInATeam every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. However, next week, I will be gone on a trip trying to find a new apartment. There will not be a stream next week for this. I apologize. Folks, if you want to support me and that move, go to patreon.com/SavedInATeam. Throw us a couple bucks. Just $2 a month gets you access to the full VOD channel of every single stream we do. $5 lets you vote on one of our variety streams each month, as well as get your name included as an NPC in our D&D campaign saving throw. And at the $10 level and above, you get your name included in this Patreon song. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Burger Bun, Fluff Guff, Mr. Colophilo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. HSM, Ernless, Crow Knight, Danny, Antilester, Kevin Asian, Shadowed Navi. Witch Tower, Sky Hurlock, High, Tacos, and Sayaki, Forensic, Technical, JFJ, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, Jacob Bell, Go, Zeppeli, Shepperstein, T-Flower, Real Life Jolie, The Red Fighter, BBC, What, and Sherlock, Zoom, Sillart, Ami, Borshock. Don't forget anyone or what, Shiny, Caterpie, Diego Garcia, Elder Boomer, Emily. Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Sly, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Conjuring Scribes, Yo Croissant, Fulfilla, Written Word, Shay the Punisher, Sibylla. Don't forget Big Curvo, and Who Needs to Sleep, Alea, Yekta, S3C, Everential B. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Folks, let's not waste any more time. Let's get back into the game. All right, yeah, we were right on this.
Yeah, we were just ready to start a dance of deduction.
We're about to start dancing.
All night. Persona 4.
And 5. And 3.
Oh, did they make one? Did they make a dancing one for 5 as well?
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, of course they did.
Duh. I mean, yeah. That's called money, Zach.
Yeah.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. Like, what even is afoot? They're gross and weird. Like, ew. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds.
God damn it.
None! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor?
Just make sure I understand this. what they said last time is that this is not a wax figure. This is a real dead human being.
I don't know. I don't think we've established that yet.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I thought we established that he's a person. I just don't think we know if he's dead or not.
Okay,
Like,
that's fair.
unconscious or something.
I was going to say, because his pose on the ground is a little comical to me, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds.
Are you saying that she hit him with money?
She killed him with a stack
Hey.
of cash.
Also,
Listen, if you played Yakuza Like a Dragon, that is a move, and it does do a lot of damage.
it does. Also,
This isn't like filling a sock with dimes and beating something, right?
Also, in the bottom left, is that a sheath of knives that she has? Just like 3 blades that she can just...
Ah!
Yeah, I'm sure we'll
I
find
don't
out.
know. It could be something else. Could be knives. Knives are awesome.
It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock.
He fell down in one frame.
Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
God damn it.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated.
Is that a thing?
Wait, what?
Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum.
What?
I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What the first off, John Clay's got to be a reference, right? Or it could be that Clay is
I have no idea.
it could be a play on wax, but I'm assuming John Clay is the name of some Holmes character.
What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But that's the real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also got a yellow.
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Oh no, did the scarf get sold?
Yeah, I'm like, shit, did Rolly Beat
they
have to
break
pawn
up?
his scarf?
I hope they didn't break up. That would be so sad.
That would be pretty
That would be
sad.
pretty bad, yeah.
Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though, perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks.
It's just an old
Yeah.
man.
And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame? I do not... Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Okay, let's fix it now.
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Did somebody say puzzle?
No, we're doing that Sunday. I guess this is Iris's first time seeing this, so... I appreciate that they do like a nice like hot steam effect on the boiling liquid too.
It's gonna be really heavy.
Also, yes.
Also, probably pretty
yeah.
hot too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I see. I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have.
Has she realized that her mentor is an idiot yet?
And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
As does the rest of her.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
1 point!
Everyone knows the Naruhodo 1 point.
Just
the
wait.
1 point
Is real!
is real!
Just wait until I learn how to go 2 point.
Ah,
According to
that's
your...
after the training arc.
Yeah. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman, Ottermole.
What? Sorry?
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year.
Okay, no, it's a real thing, I guess. Well, damn.
The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was the policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
Ottermole. So you mean that's who the sinister old-looking man is supposed to be?
Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well.
But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model?
It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective.
That is a lot of money, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's like literally, you could buy the newest car.
How many guinea pigs does that translate to? Asking for a friend.
So, it is quite a lot then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down.
Okay, well, don't openly threaten us, maybe. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so she got accused of face. The most serious crime.
Of up face off.
I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right. to make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tusspells vents her anger.
Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow.
Someone to correct all the bullshit I just said.
So, Madame Tusspells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famous great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Incredible.
Dun, 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 dun. To begin with, we must ask ourselves, what exactly is afoot here at this museum? The answer is revealed by the bundles of banknotes protruding so hopefully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice.
Dog bless you for committing to that bit, Wes.
What is I'm sorry, what is the bit Wes is doing with the voice?
Because he's like frozen in like wax figure pose, so Wes is trying to not move.
Is he really still in that pose?
Yeah, when he started that, he held up his arm like he was doing the pose. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxwork, even for £200.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the £200 could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the fucking body on the ground.
That would be my first thought.
Yeah, I do want to see what this says, actually, though. Waxwork for sale? Would anyone really buy models of mass murderers?
I think I'd rather have £200 in my pocket.
Exactly. You could buy one of those brand new types of steam carriage. That's what I'd spend it on if I had it. No question.
I don't know. That wax figure on the left-hand side might be worth £200. We have to examine that one again.
I'd buy all the herbs in the world.
There must be another explanation for the money. We need to keep looking. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the body.
Portly man.
It seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all. Just not alive in kicking. And he's not a waxwork or a model of a mass murderer.
I'm not sure I'd pay £200 for him.
Iris is not into slavery. Thank God. I don't think the man's up for sale.
Well, anyway, it was a silly place to put him. Other museum visitors could easily trip.
I don't think the man was put there on purpose either. Let's present the man.
Take that!
No!
Oh. I think there's something hidden somewhere.
Yeah, okay, we'll do another look. The gentleman on the floor must know the significance of the £200. All we need to do is wake him and we'll have our answer, with no need to deduce anything.
Shirking off that nature will hasten the end of the world, Mr. Narahodo.
The end of the world?
And there is a distinct possibility that the man has no knowledge of the money anyway. So, do you cause the destruction of our planet, or continue with the deduction process? The choice is yours.
Whoa, Sarasith just dropped $100.
Oh, whoa!
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Saying, just want to
Thank you,
send good
Sarasith.
vibes to you all. It's my birthday, and I'm spreading cheer to some of my favorite streamers.
Aw.
Sarasith,
Aw.
Thank you.
it's your
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Sarasith.
Thank you. Happy birthday. That's like
Thank you very much.
in school when you have to show up and bring cupcakes, even though it's your birthday. You know. Thank you so much. Looks like I'd better get back to saving the world then. Blah. Oh, we're getting a hint.
Judging by appearances, this man and the 200 pounds are in no way related at all.
Okay, well. The poor man was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, it seems. But there's no doubt that Madame Tusspells did react to what Mr. Sholmes said. The way she automatically looked over this way must tell us something. Excuse me, I'm sure.
And let's have more of a look around.
Okay, then... Oh, pfft. Hey,
There it is.
there's a note on the wall that has 200 pounds on it.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Dear Madame Tusspells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd of October.
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. Alright, well, hey. I think that's gonna be why she had 200 pounds on her. Just
Yeah,
throwing
that's
that one out there.
right. Yeah, no.
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note.
Quite so. And we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
Yeah, somebody in the chat earlier did the math, and that's over $40,000 in modern day money. So, it's a lot of money.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds.
Okay, now you're stupid. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who the man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tusspells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Okay. Oh, okay, now we can go all around. Oh!
Ah!
Ma'am?
What's that?
Ma'am? Okay, I was just saying, like, can we see the other angle? Because it would be wild if she's like, no, my right arm is just really big for no reason.
Don't make fun of my weird big hand, okay?
Hand of madame.
It's not her hand!
This is just Madame Tusspells' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand, after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. look, it's also very big compared to her, other hand.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too.
God damn it.
In fact, it's really hard.
You can't say that, Iris.
You mean it's made of wax? Yeah, I mean, hey, it's probably that, huh?
She whacked the guy upside the head with a wax hand.
It's
She
pretty-
waxed the guy.
Yeah, she waxed on, waxed off. Well, she did. Never mind. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you?
I do debate that pretty strongly. I feel like wax limbs are not that, and they're probably heavy, but like they're gonna take damage.
Yeah, but
I feel
if
like
you can
it's
punch
probably...
someone unconscious with a single good hit to the back of the head, you can probably smack them with a wax hand too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, just think about like how solid like a pure like thick wax candle is.
You know what? That's a very good point.
And if you just had like a long version of that, you just had like a wax club.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
That would hurt pretty bad.
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but upon closer inspection reveals that it is in fact a left hand.
And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Oh shit.
Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome.
Wait,
How are you
what?
fitting that behind there?
They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So, you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
What?
So I smacked his ass.
No small keepsake.
Like taking a whole branch from a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I am afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back.
And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. But for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Bam.
Got him. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there.
It's his left hand,
Yeah.
because we can't see it. And that
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
according to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleague without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That we just tell everyone.
Yeah, that Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any detective's true nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from what Madame Tusspells' reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly.
Yeah, spin it around.
Yeah, spin him around. Yeah.
Shoulder
He's the
stub.
He's the one-armed man.
What the? The man has a stub sticking out of where his arm should be. Sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right. This isn't a real person at all.
Hey, screw you.
Ah! I
His
lost
entire
my arm
arm's been ripped
in the
off
war.
from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course. That ties in with what we just found out. Yes, Ryan.
Figured it out.
My question is... Oh, okay, yeah, so this is what we want to present.
Yeah, what reveals his identity.
Yeah.
Right,
His identity is a wax figure.
Mm-hmm. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub.
No such boneless panties walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds a waxwork model.
I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
Shut up.
And spotlight is off of you now.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year.
Oh, damn.
I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be?
And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag.
A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garadeb's delightful lodgings, in fact. That's hilarious. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Let's just keep insulting him until
Yeah.
he wakes up.
I hope that he is listening this entire time.
Perhaps we should have a good look around and see if another idea crops up.
Iris, kick him in the balls.
Oh,
well,
he's wearing the neckerchief.
yeah, he has the neckerchief
Yeah.
on his arm. 3 pence? It's a far cry from £200, isn't it?
For threepence, you could buy it and put it on display in your room, Bruno.
I think I'd rather not go to sleep being watched by an old man, if it's all the same to you.
The price tag does stand out, doesn't it? I mean, you couldn't even buy the helmet on his head for that much money, I don't think.
I wonder what the price tag's really for then. I do want to look at the scar. Oh, maybe we can't even look at the scar. Oh,
I mean,
my
there
guy
you
is
go.
literally, Twitch.
He's moving.
Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy!
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's tip-tapping.
He's not tapping his foot consciously then. So you mean...
It must be a Twitch.
Never mind that!
Streamer.
Twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam. Never mind that, the point
The
is...
one and only, Bruno. The one and only.
Waxworks don't tap their feet!
Or Twitch.
Stream! And look at his arm, too! We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Alright, so let's look at the scarf. I don't believe it! It's the secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway!
That was my line.
Fuck!
But it's okay, I'll let you have this one.
Thank you, Iris. Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit he was trying to go un... It's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed.
He must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
Well... Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman.
He doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Okay, we've confirmed that this man is listening to us just dunk on his ass, which is very funny to me. Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris.
I think he's stupid and ugly.
I'm
going to kick him in the nards.
Right?
Yeah, because it's that he's... Wait. Tells us that this...
Now, is this man a waxwork or a real human?
Oh, okay, that's the
The
switch.
Twitch.
Take that!
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch.
Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard.
Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then.
And there you have it. Well, Madame Tusspells?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence?
No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm? Does that not strike you, Mr. Norohoda?
Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth.
Can we do it
Ah,
together
here we
again?
go.
The waxworks of the especially ruthless killer from this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
I'm sad they didn't make us try and do it together.
I know they didn't want to do it. Have us do it together.
Conclusion: it's still a mystery. Elementary.
All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
Very cool.
Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
Of standing in the corner.
The talent of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel. But as you wish.
Oh, okay. Tell us more about your stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from this special exhibit here.
It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was the model of some horrible criminal, I suppose?
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor Layton.
It is
Ah!
pretty funny of like, this is the most dangerous criminal. He left the biggest scar on society. His name? The Professor.
The Professor.
Uh-huh.
Not a name I've heard of.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete.
Circle of Life.
Sorry?
The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
God, you are so
Indeed
young.
it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
Yes, at exactly the time that Barak Van Zeeks graduated from university, in fact.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to immediately jump to those being related, but okay, yeah. What? Surely he's not saying...
Wait, how
So-
old is Van Zeeks again?
33.
33.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
thought he was younger than that.
So yeah, I mean, not yet. So if around Iris was born, yeah, that would make him.
yeah, 10.
23.
Yeah, make him
23.
23.
He would've just
So
come back from
university
university.
age.
Yep.
Is that Odie?
Yeah,
Is that Odie
How-
Ass Man?
Yes, it is.
Huh.
And who perished in the explosion. He was Professor Harebrain's financial backer and the boss of a large criminal organization.
He was. Sorry, I said he was
Professor
a
Harry?
professor.
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
I mean, that makes you really suspicious, Hairbrain.
Again, without his
Oh,
hat
she-
on, he just looks like a thumb.
He's got the strong thumb energy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's a thumb.
No. So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
Oh. Did the professor kill somebody? Did he kill the person in that picture? The cute, the good-looking man?
The good-looking man.
What if the professor is Susato's dad?
Mikotaba. Oh.
There's the twist.
And he's Japanese.
And he's a
So
professor.
Susato's dad's a horrible criminal?
Yep.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I figured it out.
Damn. Plot twist.
As you've surmised, it was the professor case.
Oh, that's good. Croissant Timbit saying, fun fact, the watchword in Windibank's at Windibanks in case 1-5 was professor.
The what?
The watchword of like the special
okay.
word you had to give to get the item back. That is I know a lot of people were saying like there's a lot of cool tiebacks if you see the game played twice, and that is a cool one. I like that. Who was this professor then? The professor. For watching out, folks.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
So not Professor Makoto, huh?
Yeah.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all.
And now he's
Londoners to
immortal.
admire and enjoy.
They tried to kill him, but it only made him stronger.
So really oopsed on that one.
Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is this all related to Lord Van Zeeks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy.
Oh,
Members
so
of
this
the
dude was
nobility.
based.
Even royalty.
When
Sent
Ah, so he was-
shockwaves
so
through
he
the
was
country's
based.
administration.
when he said killed some of Whitehall's finest, I was like, well, members of the. Oh, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh, gosh.
Don't swear, Iris.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I do think that the professor is Japanese, because I think this is why he hates Japanese people.
You know,
or at least
could
that
be,
the
yeah.
professor is in some way tied to the Japanese.
Yeah, we'll find out.
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of
Yeah.
Clint Van Zeeks.
No, I don't believe it. Van Zeeks? Where have I heard that name before?
Are you serious?
I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself.
No, I'm having a little. I need a little help. I'm missing something. I
So
feel
what
like
you're
like
saying?
I just about got it.
So what you're saying is that the professor found the Clint and killed him.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Ryan, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic past.
He's an ace attorney prosecutor, not named Payne. Of course, he had a tragic past.
That's true.
Hey, listen. Winston Payne's ancestry has a tragic past of hair problems.
Of male pattern
so-
baldness.
Of male
Of being
pattern baldness.
of being incels.
Yes, exactly. They have their own set of tragic backstories.
Oh shit. Equation in space says he's actually Van Zeek's cooler younger brother. Holy shit. That's
Well,
so
I'm
good.
afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. Just wait until case 2-5, and then I can say more.
Then we
After
can
all, I have work to do.
finish all this.
As a waxwork exhibit.
Oh my god, I just thought about this thing. Whoa, look at that cool waxwork exhibit in the corner. Looks like a really cool younger brother. It's the best looking waxwork model I've ever seen. Holy shit. Look how cool it is. Fuck.
It's what he deserves
Yeah.
to be memorialized.
I am afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Sophie Churton saying, I need you to know that I tried to do a fake timeout command aimed at you, but I got the message you cannot time out the broadcaster. That's incredible that Twitch has that program, dude.
That's really funny.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you.
Bye.
I kind of feel like we spent the last hour of this case, this investigation, not doing anything related to the actual case we're on.
dicking
Yeah, I was
out,
gonna
dicking
say,
around.
how much of this is going to come back later?
I mean, eventually it will, but not today, probably.
Whether, yep. It's not going to be relevant in court today, but maybe the next day.
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing have involved you coming to visit me here. Wait, was that Ryan saying that? No, it was not Ryan saying that.
Hairbrain.
Oh, what was the line again?
uh,
Oh, okay.
Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak.
It's been 10 years. And here we are, meeting in a prison of all places.
did you just have your appendix taken out?
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Assman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
Also, damn. We're the same age, but my shoulders are like as big as two of you.
I was gonna say, because I know there's so much ship art of these two, I didn't really see it until this
He's
scene, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, I get why
compared
people
to
like this ship.
Oh my god. Barrack is two of this guy. That's insane. Tomorrow the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though.
Did you say Eastern man?
How dare you!
It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
With his Nipponese black magic. I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? But you're going to go easy on me, right?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barak, are you really...
What?
A racist.
An asshole?
Like,
Yes,
I've heard you've been
Tubbo.
saying really terrible things to foreigners. But you would never do that, right?
No.
Look, a distraction.
Pocket wine.
Slap the bag. Yo, the idea of Van Zeeks with Franzia is really funny to me.
Yeah.
It's a big old thing of boxed wine.
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
I do not.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Okay.
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barak.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Gay, homosexual,
Alright.
gay.
La la la.
Man, you want to talk about the perfect length for an episode cut? Oh, baby.